When we make mistakes, we often carry them within us, even when no one else notices. A single regret can linger in the mind, replaying itself like a shadow that follows us. The voice of self-blame can be persistent, whispering that we should have done better, that we were not enough, that we have failed in some way. At first, self-blame might seem justified. It may feel like taking responsibility or showing sincerity. But over time, it becomes a heavy burden. It shapes the way we see ourselves, creating a silent suffering that is difficult to escape. Perhaps we recall words we wish we had not said, decisions we wish we had made differently, or opportunities we feel we lost. The past cannot be changed, yet our minds return to it again and again, searching for a way to rewrite what has already been written. This unseen weight does not just stay in our thoughts. It influences our emotions, making us feel unworthy, undeserving of kindness, or incapable of moving forward. We may become hesitant, afraid to make mistakes again. Or we may grow tired, weighed down by the feeling that we will never be free from our regrets. But what if we take a moment to step back and look at self-blame from a different perspective? Instead of seeing it as a necessary punishment, what if we see it as a sign that we care? The fact that we feel guilt means that we value kindness, honesty, and doing what is right. This awareness itself is not something negative. It is a sign of a heart that wishes to grow. Yet growth does not happen through endless self-criticism. If we hold on to guilt too tightly, it does not guide us. It traps us. If we wish to move forward, we must learn to loosen our grip on the past, not by ignoring what has happened, but by understanding that mistakes do not define who we are. Self-blame feels like a weight, but perhaps it is also an invitation to look within, to understand ourselves more deeply, and to take the first gentle step towards self-forgiveness. No one lives a life without mistakes. No matter how careful we are, no matter how much we try to do what is right, we will sometimes fall short. This is not a failure. It is simply part of being human. Yet, we often struggle to accept our own imperfection. We hold ourselves to high standards, believing that if we had just tried harder or been wiser, we could have avoided the pain of regret. But perfection is an illusion. If we expect ourselves to be perfect, we set ourselves up for disappointment. We are not meant to be flawless. We learn through experience, and experience includes both success and failure. Just as a child stumbles many times before learning to walk, we also stumble as we move through life. The path of growth is not smooth. It is filled with moments of uncertainty, wrong turns, and lessons that can only be learned through making mistakes. When we look at others, we may see only their strengths, their confidence, their achievements. We compare ourselves to an image that is not complete. We forget that everyone carries their own regrets, their own self-doubt. The person who seems wise has learned through past mistakes. The person who seems kind has likely known the pain of being unkind. No one reaches wisdom or compassion without struggle. So why do we believe that our own mistakes make us unworthy? Why do we judge ourselves so harshly for being what we naturally are? Imperfect, learning, growing. If we can accept that imperfection is not something to be ashamed of, but something to embrace, we can begin to change how we see ourselves. Accepting imperfection does not mean we ignore our mistakes. It means we recognize them as part of our journey. It means we understand that making a mistake does not mean we are broken. It means that we are alive, moving forward, learning, just like everyone else. Perhaps the first step to self-forgiveness is not to fix ourselves, but to realize that we were never broken to begin with. If we wish to let go of self-blame, we must first recognize that forgiveness is not something we must earn. It is not a reward for being good enough. It is not something that comes only after we have suffered enough. Forgiveness is a choice, a gentle decision to stop carrying what no longer serves us. But how do we take this step? How do we forgive ourselves when regret feels so deeply woven into our hearts? It may seem difficult, even impossible. Yet, like all things, it begins with a small, simple shift in how we see ourselves. Instead of looking at our past with harshness, we can try looking at it with understanding. Imagine that a dear friend comes to you, burdened with regret. They tell you of their mistakes, their failures, their guilt. Would you turn away from them? Would you tell them they are unworthy of kindness? No. You would listen. You would comfort them. And you would remind them that they are more than their past. If we can offer such kindness to a friend, why do we withhold it from ourselves? Forgiving ourselves does not mean we erase the past. It means we learn from it without punishing ourselves endlessly. It means we acknowledge our mistakes, but we do not let them define our future. When we recognize that we have changed, that we are not the same person who made those mistakes, we can begin to loosen our grip on regret. This process is not instant. Healing takes time. Some days, we may feel lighter, and other days, the weight may return. But each time we choose to be gentle with ourselves, each time we remind ourselves that we are still growing, we take another step forward. Self-forgiveness is not about forgetting. It is about releasing. Releasing the need to be perfect. Releasing the idea that we must suffer to make things right. Releasing the belief that we are unworthy of peace. When we allow ourselves to forgive, we give ourselves permission to begin again. We open the door to a future that is not shaped by guilt, but by understanding. And in that understanding, we find a new kind of strength, the strength to walk forward, lighter, freer, and ready to embrace whatever comes next. Self-forgiveness is not a destination, but a journey. It is not something we achieve once and never think about again. Rather, it is a practice, one that we return to whenever regret arises. Some days, it may feel easy to let go. Other days, the past may feel close again, whispering reminders of our mistakes. This is natural. Healing is not about never feeling regret again. It is about learning how to meet that regret with understanding rather than judgment. As we continue forward, we can remind ourselves that we are always changing. The person we were yesterday is not the person we are today. The person we will be tomorrow is shaped by the kindness we offer ourselves now. If we can meet our imperfections with patience, if we can allow ourselves to grow without fear, then self-forgiveness becomes not just an idea, but a part of how we live. There is no need to rush this process. There is no right or wrong way to heal. What matters is that we take each step gently, allowing ourselves the same kindness we would offer to someone we love. To those who have listened, thank you. Your presence here means a great deal. For those who have shared their thoughts in the comments, given a like, subscribe to this channel, or supported through super thanks, your kindness is deeply appreciated. It is a reminder that even in the vastness of the online world, we are not alone in our journey. May you continue forward with lightness in your heart. May you find peace in knowing that you are not defined by your past. And may self-forgiveness bring you the quiet strength to embrace yourself as you are, fully and without hesitation.